clearly it's one issue. I want to start with this. Yesterday, I got in front of this microphone, and there was a video that was surfaced that Project Veritas had put out there. And as I watched that video, which was a video of an executive on a date, and he was having a conversation with his interest, and the two gentlemen were having a conversation that eventually got to talking about Pfizer and the vaccine. And it just seemed so contrived, so fake, so phony. So as I was watching it, and I watched it multiple times, the original video, and I thought to myself, well, this could only be one of two or three things. One is it's a flat-out hoax and a lie, right? Two people getting together trying to get back at Project Veritas for some reason or another. That seemed like it was the most realistic because it seemed so abnormal. And I know Pfizer executives actually have to sign documentation and go through the rigors as far as what they can and cannot say. So it seemed very unlikely that someone would spill their guts over the trade secrets over a couple of Manhattans or cosmopolitans out on a date. The other option was, okay, this person was smitten to the point with the other person that they were in press mode. And I thought, well, okay, that's possible, but man, to just unleash all of the things that they unleashed yesterday about how Pfizer had potentially manipulated the actual vaccine, et cetera, et cetera. So I came before the microphone yesterday and said, I have a hard time believing that this is even true. Let's wait and see, get to the bottom of it. But right now, I don't really believe it. I said, well, it could be this, but it also could be that. He could be trying to impress his date. Well, it turns out, at least from another encounter, if you haven't seen this video, it is remarkable that Project Veritas found this particular Pfizer executive, this Pfizer scientist, and found him at a restaurant, and went into the restaurant and began asking him questions, just questions about the original video. And this Pfizer executive lost his mind and went after the reporter from Project Veritas, did smash the laptop on the ground trying to destroy the video, et cetera, et cetera. It was a scene, man. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I can't do it justice by playing the audio. There's a lot of audio to it, but you have to mesh the two together. And I'll post it up on the Facebook site as soon as I'm done here today. Not as soon as I'm done here with the opening monologue, but I got to the point where, like, wow, this is probably true. It's hard to create a scenario where this person who has really, he's really high up on the food chain at Pfizer, who has knowledge of the things that he was talking about, how what he says and was saying to that original date was not accurate. And I got to think, here we are, spinning on this giant blue marble through space, around this great star, through the galaxies, at millions of miles an hour. And here on this little blue rock, we have the largest military conflict, the bloodiest conflict since World War II going on in Europe. According to some of the experts, we're as close to nuclear annihilation as we've ever been. We have a president of the United States who literally can't get through an entire press conference without stumbling over his tongue or shuffling around on stage as if he's a 100-year-old man. And that same president has, for some reason, stored, or finding out has stored, classified documents spread out in garages, in cabinets, in basements, all around the country. All within grasp of his crackhead son, who's had dealings, nasty, ugly dealings with the Chinese, with the Ukrainians, anybody who's nefarious. This guy has had something to do with him. all with access. The sun has access to all of that. All of this is happening while Americans are still suffering through 7% inflation, 7+% inflation. They want to tell you that things are trending in the right direction, but I'm still paying $6 for a gallon of milk. The confidence, my confidence, I'm sure your confidence in our government officials continues to wane. It's at an all-time low, which is a lot to say because normally government officials' approval ratings are around 10%. Imagine that. Your approval rating is less than 10%. We are literally being invaded at the southern border. Not thousands, millions of people in the last 2 years have made their way across the southern border. Our government does nothing. Nothing. We're dealing with daily cyber attacks, violent crimes at an all-time high. The racial division in this country is beginning to escalate. The indoctrination by our educators of your children into this mind-blowing woke culture is rampant. And while all this is going on, we now find out that when the country was actually fiscally humming along at a pretty good clip, we got punched in the mouth with a Chinese virus. The world did. And the people, the scientists, the men and women in white coats that we're supposed to trust, the ones that are supposed to be looking out for human beings, we're finding out that a company that has made not billions, tens of billions of dollars, maybe purposely and maliciously altering these vaccines to maximize profits. And in doing so, apparently it seems like Big Pharma is harming not just the American people, but people around the planet. People who have gotten injected. How can you trust Big Pharma now? How can you go through life blindfolded? How can you just go through life just saying yes sir, no ma'am, to these men and women in these lab coats who call themselves doctors who force you to roll up your sleeve, ask no questions, take the jab? How do you trust them now? How do you trust anybody now? Now, this is not saying that modern medicine hasn't been miraculous. It has. It saved billions of lives. But right now, ask yourself, how much medication do you take on a daily basis? How many pills do you pop every day? High blood pressure. Maybe you're taking something to calm your nerves, ease your mind. So you're taking whatever it is that you're taking on a regular basis. Almost every single person can raise their hand and say they're ingesting something that Big Pharma has put together to make your life better. And maybe it has in some cases, and then in fact, maybe it just hasn't. Maybe it just has covered up an issue that you personally may have. But while all of this is going on, and yes, modern medicine and science has done wonders, clearly to extend life and improve, in many cases, your life, but maybe needlessly now, they're either asking you or forcing you or requesting that you take certain medicines. And some folks are getting really rich off of it. And when it comes to the vaccines, I don't know how you can explain away one young person after another young person dropping dead. And even if a small percentage of what Project Veritas caught on tape was actually true, even just a fraction of what that kid said is true, then how in the hell can we trust anybody? How? It seems impossible. It seems very unlikely that in this particular case, Big Pharma had your best interest at heart. And how this story isn't the story everybody's talking about, the lead story on every show. I don't know. I'm not really sure how it is. Another person died. People send me emails every day, multiple emails every day of pointing out to me another young athlete, another young person, another young somebody just dropping. And I talked to you yesterday about a Waterford Clark Lane student. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the media. How is it even feasible that a Clark Lane student, Waterford, Connecticut, if you don't know where Clark Lane is, 7th and 8th graders, how is it possible that one of those kids, 3 months ago, it took 3 months for this story to get traction and get on Channel 3, that somebody prior to gym class drops and his life has to be saved by the teachers who, using the equipment brilliantly, by the way, saving that person's life. How is it possible that we don't know about that? If you're a parent, I'm curious about this. Please email me. If you're a parent in a local school system and you weren't made aware of that, I'd like to know. Because I didn't hear anything about it. I don't remember that being in the news at all. And if that's the case, it's not, by the way, just in case you're curious, it's not normal for a 7th or 8th grader prior to gym to drop. In particular, when you're seeing it happen over and over and over and over again. So my question is, the people that you're supposed to trust the most, the people that you're supposed to rely on the most, when you got a stomach ache, a backache, your neck hurts, sore throat, eyes are bad, and you run to the doctors to have them help you out, prescribe something for you. Considering all that's happened in the last 2 years, how is it that you have that full faith in that particular doctor? How? Not that they're maliciously doing it. Don't get me wrong. Everybody makes mistakes. But if we find out that Big Pharma has been not only manipulating the virus, manipulating the vaccines to play with your health, how do you trust what those men and women in those lab coats have been telling you? Because most people just do what they're told when it comes to the doctors. You got to take this pill. You got to do this. You got to do that. I don't know how you do it. I feel like in this case, because it's been so widespread, that the medical community has, I think, a lot of explaining to do to the American people and to the planet as far as this. And depending upon what we find out, if we get, who knows, if this story gets silenced, I don't know. But if we find out Big Pharma is actually, again, manipulating the vaccines to maximize their profit, and then why would you? Well, you have your own decisions to make. You have your own decisions to make. But just look at the flu shot, and you look, and I trust me, I do not profess to be a doctor, but when you are running to get the flu shot every year, and the chances that the flu or the flu shot protection that they're sticking in your arm is the right one is less than a coin flip. Like it's less than 50-50 that they're going to get the right strain. And now, as we had predicted, the COVID vaccine, they now want to give you this thing every year. That's going to be the next thing that comes out. We had talked about that. This is going to be a yearly thing. Okay? You have a choice to make. But wow. It's very disappointing. Because, we think about certain industries, teachers, medical, those kinds of industries, where you want the people involved, and police officers, military in that case as well, you want them to be beyond reproach. Like you should not question their moral compass, ever. That's what, you hope that's the case. Certainly isn't the case always. Human beings are fallible, of course, but in a general sense, you want to believe that the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies have your best interests at heart. And we're finding out that maybe they don't. Or at least they don't always have it